So we've had a big couple of days. Thank you everyone for taking the time to be here. Your participation, your deep listening, sharing learnings and contributions have made this a really successful event. And so we really appreciate that effort and time everyone's made, both in person, travelling from all over WA, met people even just at lunch from Pilbara and Albany, and of course across Australia and New Zealand. We heard federal and state perspectives around policy and commitments, and then some real messages around resourcing and the strength of having dedicated people working on sustainability and green in our health environments. We heard about the impacts, the emissions and the climate impacts that we're already facing. Resilience was a thread, and yet some really creative and incredible examples of how you're all responding to those challenges. So those strategies and systems that health institutions and health partners are drawing on to create change are some of the seeds that we hope that you'll take with you back into your areas of work. But there'll be lots of opportunities to connect beyond this, and I'll get to that. Today we heard a lot about First Peoples and Māori experience and ways of looking at things and ways of looking at the way in which we approach care, the way in which we deliver care and communicate climate change and health impacts. And of course, we had lots of great practical examples, so they are the evidence and the things that you can point to when you go back into your work and practice. So we learnt from colleagues. We learnt from colleagues who met each other for the first time. And again, we hope that you'll stay connected. Because it's that sharing between each other that gives you the strength, so you don't feel isolated in your work, that you actually realise that you're working across a network across Australia and in New Zealand to affect change. And we've heard from lots of champions, both yesterday and today. And the next thing I'd like to talk about is our Sustainable Healthcare Champion Award. So in my view, you're all champions, but there was a dedicated award that was put together. Looking at the last 2 days, we've witnessed some of the dedication, drive and the passion of sustainable healthcare champions in Australia and New Zealand. And we know that the work shared here was just the tip of the iceberg, and we heard that quite often. There are so many people working tirelessly to improve the environmental footprint of healthcare and also to protect our health. So while we've gathered as a community, we wanted to take a moment to celebrate all that you do in this work and through our inaugural Sustainable Healthcare Champion Award. So this is just a start. So next year, look out if it's not your time today. So we asked people to nominate themselves or colleagues who had gone that extra mile in bringing about change. I'm glad I didn't have to decide, because there's far too many of you and that have appeared throughout the 2 days of our conference. So not surprisingly, we received an overwhelming number of nominations for the Sustainable Healthcare Champion Award. And it's great to see so many people nominated by their peers, recognising that effort in each other. It's that generosity of spirit with yourself and others in your network. So all nominees deserve congratulations. It was truly an excellent field of candidates. So there was an independent scoring panel that had the difficult job of narrowing down the nominees to one winner. So I feel like I should do a drum roll, and hopefully that doesn't affect the audio too much. The winner of the inaugural Sustainable Healthcare Champion Award has worked in public health for over 13 years, with significant contributions in environmental sustainability and climate action. The winner was the project director for the world's first statutory inquiry into climate change and health. The Climate Health Western Australian Inquiry set out a blueprint for the Western Australian health system to respond to climate change and has been a catalyst for change within WA health and beyond. This well-accomplished individual is now the inaugural lead Sustainable Development Officer in the Sustainable Development Unit at the Western Australian Department of Health. So within this role, she leads the WA health system to reduce its emissions, energy and water use, and preparing the WA health system and communities for the impacts of climate change. Her achievements include the successful completion of the first ever carbon footprint assessment of the WA health system. And we heard a lot about that. We actually need to understand, see the data to be able to act. Advocating for and coordinating the submission to have desflurane removed from clinical use in all public hospitals in WA. Establishing a scholarship program to build capacity and educate staff across the WA health system to strengthen the provision of environmentally sustainable services in WA. This individual is truly committed to transforming WA health into an environmentally sustainable and low carbon healthcare system. The winner has been fundamental in centering and elevating climate action and environmental sustainability across the WA health system, paving the way for action for both individuals and health service providers. Now, I know she'll be very humble and probably embarrassed by all the things that I've read out, but I would like to congratulate Dr. Sarah Joyce for as an inaugural winner. Come on down. And this is a certificate that you can proudly display in your office and to inspire your colleagues and other colleagues across the state to do the action that you take. Would you like to say anything?
Look, just a little overwhelmed, to be honest, and just really humbled. I really concur with what you said earlier, Michelle. Working in the climate and sustainability space is more than anywhere else I've worked in health, a really collegial and collaborative area. And I guess just reflecting on as well, you know, the lessons from this morning about walking together on this journey. Everyone who's come to this forum today is a climate champion. I'm inspired by all of you. I learn from you every day. And just honestly, just really touched by this, and just love to continue working with you all. We've still got so much more to do. And I know from just listening from the past 2 days that we have the right minds and the right people and the right expertise to do that. So thank you.
Very exciting. Well, we have our first award recipient. Now we're going to get to the poster award. So thank you all of you online and also here in person who have voted. And for all of those that contributed to the poster competition. We do a lot of great work. We've heard a lot of great case studies and experience here. Communicating it to our peers is really important. So thanks for everyone that took part. But without further ado, I will announce that the winner of the poster competition is a food organics at the Fiona Stanley Patient Catering by Genevieve Palmer. Accepting the award is Bridget Egan on behalf of Genevieve Palmer.
So this was a poster done by Genevieve Palmer, who's our catering manager at Fiona Stanley Hospital, and her team worked tirelessly to introduce food organics into their work. It took a lot of change. We had to take out equipment and we had to retrain the staff, but every single one of them wanted to be involved and wanted to do it. And not only have we, I think we've think it's more than 12 tonnes a month that's going to food organics, but we've also increased the commingled recycling as well. So it's just had an amazing impact. And this team have worked really, really hard to make it happen. And the next thing that they've turned their minds to is food rescue. And so they're really engaged and they really want to do the right thing. So it's great that they've got this recognition.
Thank you so much. And remember to take some of the lunch home to lessen the burden for those of us in person. Look, there's so many people to thank. I did want to start with thanking all of you again for participating, both online, for your questions, and most importantly, for what you'll do next. But an event like this doesn't happen without a lot of people behind the scenes. And from my view as a board member of the Climate and Health Alliance, stepping into the event, having everything organised, was the real strength of the partnership, and the collaboration between peers across states and across countries to actually make this happen. So I wanted to shout out to the West Australian Sustainable Development Unit. We've just heard a little bit about that. Brock Jackson, amazing effort. I understand your tireless contribution, and of course Sarah Joyce, who we've just heard from. Thank you so much for that terrific contribution. Bridget Egan, we've heard from Bridget and some of the amazing work that you're doing, and so thank you for sharing with all of us and bringing in some of the most incredible colleagues in the health service has been really terrific. And of course, as a hosting partner, we really thank South Metropolitan for not only providing a venue, but again for sharing your story and commitments and progress. It's been terrific. So thank you, Bridget, for facilitating that. The Kaha team, we've had Carol and Alex here doing a stellar job, and we also had Stephanie curating the program in the lead up. We've had Remy online, Layla, and also Maddie. Again, as a board member, just want to thank you so much for all of the tireless effort that you do to connect and support the effort that we've heard about in the last 2 days. Thank you to Kirby Duprees and Tara Mountford for your contributions to the event. Really, really value that. I think we need to give Will from Magicorp a round of applause. Nerves of Steel, kind of resilience in disruption that we need in this climate space, and of course all the Magicorp team that have helped us out. Thank you, Josh, for capturing us in the event, and when we share the photos, hopefully it will spark some joy and memories of some of the things that you've learnt and shared in the last couple of days. There was a steering committee that came together to create this conference. Again, an example of that cross-organisational collaboration to oversee the submissions of really terrific content. So thank you so much. Again, we've had so many presenters and facilitators, both online. We pushed through to do the hybrid and in person because we felt it was so important to have that level of participation and expertise and experience from many different parts of New Zealand and Australia. We really thank our platinum sponsors, Schneider Electric, whom we heard from, and Cardinal Health. So not just providing funding for the event, but also some really terrific and engaging presentations yesterday on your progress and contribution in the space. And, some real opportunities to think about how in the public spheres and also private, how we partner. And of course, with community who are your customers as well. Our gold sponsors, we had some enthusiastic exhibitors and contributors in Clean Life Medical, Linen Services Australia, and also Amplar Health. So thank you for your contributions to make this event happen. Our promotional partners as well, who are up on the screen, for spreading the word about the forum. We're interested and we'll follow up later to see how you heard about this and also how you experienced it, but we appreciate our partners there. So we're now going to bring this part of the event to a close, and there's an opportunity for some of you here in person to experience some tours and to continue that learning journey here on Friday. But from the climate and health perspective, organisation perspective, we really look forward to continuing to support and also promote this work. And if your organisation isn't a member of the Global Green Healthy Hospitals Network, we encourage you to join. Membership is free, and we'll provide information about how to join up. It's a network that enables that exchange of information, and we know that being part of that, then you also form your own connections and networks to make things happen. So thank you to everyone that participated online for hanging in there with us, and again for your terrific contributions. For those of you in person, if you're leaving us locally, thank you so much for participating and sharing country and experience with us. If you're heading home, please have a safe journey. But hopefully many of you are also staying for our terrific tours. So it's time to, get a bit of a stretch, hydrate, and get ready to see and experience some of the great practice that's happening locally. And that's all. So thank you, everyone. Give yourself a round of applause.